Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video, and today we're going to be talking about your Ripple/XRP. We're going to be talking about how much it's going to be worth in the future, how to calculate it, how to retire with it, all of that cool stuff. But before we get into any of that, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video right now, because we actually give away $200 worth of XRP every single day, possibly, and all that you have to do to enter is press the like button on this video, comment something down below, and have the notification bell on. And then if we hit 499 likes within 24 hours, we're giving that away. Some of you guys seem to forget that we do need to hit this amount of likes before we actually give the money away, and if you check out my previous videos and the amount of likes that I mentioned, we actually have not hit it yet, so that's also why there's no giveaway announcement. That's kind of how it works. But yes, guys. Also, don't forget to join my Facebook group called Crypto Traders Dusty. It's going to be pretty lit, guys. Going to be posting a lot of cool things in here. And also, make sure you go ahead and follow me on Twitter, the DustyBC. Now, for today, I want to tell you guys, of course, about how much your XRP will be worth, as it is something that must be on your mind every couple of days, maybe even every day, maybe every day or so, doesn't really matter, but it must have been on your mind at least once. We were discussing how it's possible to retire with XRP, how it is possible to retire in general, what you need, what you would like, what you would want, yada yada yada, and we comprised a plan. It's called the XP retirement plan, and in this thing we kind of go over all the points that you need to go over when you start to retire. Of course, there's another couple of points that we did not mention in here, like, do you already have a house, for example? You can put it in here, like, do you have a house already? Is it with one L or two L's? I always forget the spelling. One. Things like that we should be putting in here, like questions like, what are your monthly expenses? Like, for example, really needed / optional expenses. So, we need to know which ones you really have in terms of, like, do you have a mortgage or do you have a car that you need to pay for every month? And which ones are optional, like, do you have Netflix or like 15 Netflix, or do you have a very, very expensive gym membership or a golf membership that's taking, hundreds of dollars every month or hundreds of dollars every year? Could be, those things are what you're going to have to look at as well when you want to retire very early in your life. Previously, our last video, I think, was about retiring at 30 with XRP. It is definitely possible, guys, if you're, of course, not 30 yet, because in the literal sense, it is not as difficult to retire as you might think at whatever age you are at. Also, added to this whole plan, we also made a little bit of a calculator to calculate directly how much you think your XRP is going to be worth or how much money you would need to retire. But before we get into the real retirement plan and how much money your XRP is going to be worth in the future, let's look at a couple of articles that I really need to show you guys. Ripple avoids XRP question as it moves to dismiss securities lawsuit. This is one of the articles that's really been circulating the space for a little while now. Not specifically the one from Cointelegraph, but the fact that Ripple avoids the XRP question and that they want to get rid of this lawsuit altogether. By the way, if you might hear some background noise, it's because the rain is really starting to kick in for some reason. But yeah, you can hopefully ignore that. Blockchain network Ripple has filed a controversial motion to dismiss a lawsuit accusing it of selling unregistered securities. Ripple, securities rolling beyond scope of the court. In a court filing uploaded by Fortune on September 20th, lawyers representing the company against investor Bradley Sostak dismissed the claims. Part of the ongoing legal battle, Sostak says Ripple's sales of XRP in 2013 constituted an unlawful securities offering. Ripple denies this, but the case has thrown up wider concerns over the legality of Ripple's operations regarding said coin XRP. As Cointelegraph, executives have refused to acknowledge the company's relationship to the token, despite the huge personal holdings and continuing sell-offs. Court needs to resolve whether XRP is security for us to really be done with this all, because right now there's still a constant threat above Ripple and XRP of it being ruled as a security, and that would really ruin all the fun in the coin. It'd ruin all the fun for Ripple as well. They're gonna have some crazy ass fines, and they might even go completely to the ground if really XRP is considered a security. I mean, they hold such a majority of it, so there's a couple of things that could happen, and almost none of them are looking good. So I would also say that that's the worst scenario for us all. Ripple moves to dismiss class action complaints as claims are time barred. This is actually what is not said too specifically in this article here. But one of the points that really needs to be made here is the part that it's time barred. And quick take here. Consolidated class action in federal court alleges federal security law and California state law violations. Defendants now move to dismiss for a variety of reasons, including argument that the claims arise out of a sale that began more than 3 years ago, so time is barred, or is time barred. And other arguments presented include lack of contractual relationship between plaintiff and the defendants based on a secondary market purchase. So this one is, you mostly have 3 years to file your complaint or to do something against it. I think they might also, we've covered it before on the channel though. You have 3 years, and he did actually not do that within 3 years, because I think he should have done it before 2016 then. And the second part is that there's no real contract between the plaintiff and Ripple. He most likely bought it from a secondary person somewhere else. You cannot really prove that they bought it from Ripple, which is again a little bit of an issue in the whole sense. You can read more about the real in-depth stuff in here, and it is quite interesting, I should note, as you know what your coin is up against then. Under plaintiff's own allegations, defendants offered XRP to the public throughout 2013 through 2015. Accordingly, the 3-year statute of repose expired as of 2016, 3 years after the sales cited in May's 2015 settlement, and in no case later than May 2018, 3 years after May 2015 settlement, yada yada yada. The Securities Act claims in the complaint filed August 5th of 2019 are therefore untimely, and barred by the statute of repose. That's a pretty fair point, I must admit. Western Union doesn't need Ripple when they have Earthport. A brief look into Earthport makes things very interesting. Western Union, one of the world's leading payment service providers, has been in talks with Ripple over some time. Last weekend, a prominent crypto analyst mentioned on Twitter that Western Union doesn't need to integrate Ripple when they are using Earthport, and his claim seems to hold substantial weight. Before we move any further with the story, it's worth noting that Western Union has been doing a test with Ripple, and a couple of months back, Western Union CEO Hikmet Ersek said that they are still working with Ripple and learning from it. Ripple has influenced a lot of financial institutions with its revolutionizing tech, MoneyGram's adoption, and by the way, to add to that, in my previous video, I might have said that Ripple has a majority stake in MoneyGram. I would actually like to point it back as in a major stake or a big stake, not a majority stake. That's a mistake from my part. But there you go. I don't think that, I don't know exactly how much they have, but it's most likely around, let's say 15. It could be between 10 to 20% that they have of MoneyGram. Could be more, could be less, but that's what I'm assuming. You guys can report it in the comment section down below. I don't really care how much they have. Has added significant value to the American fintech firm. And with several top banks using Ripple services, Western Union has always been interested in integrating Ripple, and it tested Ripple's product, XRP. Where are we? Okay. Officials from the blockchain firm mentioned regarding a potential collaboration with the money transfer giant. It said, "We continue to test different products with Western Union. We're excited about the new partnership and our participation in a pilot implementation of XRP. As many know by now, the XRP product uses XRP in settlement flows." The whole situation is pretty cool. And here you can see that Eric Fail said on Twitter, "No wonder Western Union says they don't see a need to integrate Ripple. They don't have to because Earthport will do it all for them." And again, that's what kind of changed. "I'm open to any cost savings, any innovation. I'm there. We can sign a deal tomorrow." That's what he said as well. Like, everything is open, and that's a pretty cool thing. But a brief look into Earthport makes things very interesting, because all the way back in 2015, it partnered with Ripple, and in 2016, the fintech firm announced its distributed ledger hub. It then made the first cross-border payment transaction through the Santander Bank UK, again a Ripple partner, which made its first DLT service to be provided to a UK bank for cross-border transactions. Now, Western Union is using Earthport, which indirectly leads it to Ripple and makes a connection between them substantially. However, who knows, in the coming time, Western Union may settle down with Ripple directly and end up in a potential partnership just like MoneyGram. If Western Union goes on to announce a collaboration between Ripple and themselves in the future, it would be a massive breakthrough for the blockchain firm. Having the two biggest money transferring giants in the pocket could lead it to a pathway of new highs in the remittance world. Well, they're already really quite high, but they could get even a little bit higher. In case Western Union announces to stay away from Ripple, it would not have a massive impact on the fintech firm, as it's still popular among the banking world, and almost all top banks and financial institutions are using its products in some manner or are connected to it in some indirect way. Moreover, as the blockchain technology grows and makes waves into the masses, Ripple will more likely bring innovations in the industry, and that is where it has the edge over all the other firms providing cross-border services, because in the end, blockchain tech is the one that will make a difference. Yes, guys, it is pretty cool. I forgot this little part. Let's quickly read that. The world thought that Western Union is going to integrate Ripple, but things changed when Western Union CEO in a recent Brainstorm Finance 2019 conference changed his tone and said that they are providing the service even cheaper than Ripple, almost 5 times as low. Ursik made sense and he was very logical. However, he didn't neglect that they have stopped working with Ripple, as he added, "I'm open to any cost savings, any innovation, I'm there. We can sign a deal tomorrow." And despite all these uncertain circumstances, the thing to note is that Western Union is using Earthport, a fintech firm being regulated under the UK's Financial Conduct Authority (FCA), and Earthport is currently providing cross-border service across 88 countries. There we go. And last but not least, make sure you buy yourself a hardware wallet, guys. I keep on forgetting to tell you guys this in videos. Also, if you watch this far, make sure you press the like button. But I'm telling you guys this because, again, another person messaged me on Discord today. By the way, if you're not in the Discord group yet, go check it out. He said, "What do I do? My exchange account got hacked. My money is gone. What do I do? It's already been a couple of days ago, but I only found out now. What do I do?" And I just told him, "My dude, that's very unfortunate for you, but there's nothing I can do in my power to help you. All I can say is make sure your money is secure next time. You can try to, message the exchange, make sure the money is really not flooding out of Binance yet, but the chance of them replying in time is, or whatever the exchange it was, is not that high. And also, if it's been a couple of days already, the chance that the money is really somewhere else already is really quite high. The only thing you can do is make sure that this person, has a likelihood of not being able to use the money, as sometimes, exchanges are able to mark those addresses as scams and as hacks and as unapproved, sort of, and then you can kind of make sure that the money will not be accepted as easily. But in the end, you've lost your money. It's very hard to get it back. The chance of getting it back is just really, really quite small. And that's why I always say, make sure you back up your own money by going for some hardware wallets. In this case, I would recommend the backup pack because, hey, you get the newest one, which is the Ledger Nano X, but for very cheap, for like 50 extra bucks, or I don't even know how much it is extra, you get another Ledger Nano S, which I personally use all the time. You also used to have Ledger Blue, which is the touchscreen version, which I also use, but I don't think they sell that anymore for some reason. But yeah, I always recommend this type of stuff because it's just so convenient and it works, and why the freak not? You're just putting your money to safety. Oh, again, you can see it's 30 bucks for this Ledger Nano S. This used to be $100 or 100 euros, depending on where you are. And it just keeps your money safe. You can always get backup. So if you lose this thing, you have backup keys. If someone steals your stuff, you can still back it up. It won't break. You can always access your money. You can also access it on your phone, as this thing has Bluetooth. It is amazing. Now, the creme de la creme of this video, though, the XRP retirement plan. Let me explain it to you guys once more, and let's also try to extract from this how much your XRP is going to be worth in the future. So, your retirement goals. One thing you should always have straight is how much you want to have when you retire. Of course, you're going to say as much as possible, but that is not something that is good in this case. You want to probably get yourself a real goal, a real amount of dollars that you are kind of happy to retire with. Or you could kind of set a date for yourself and think of an XRP price prediction and how many coins. It just depends on really what information you have. You just have to fill in these 3 points. Your retirement goals, your XRP price prediction by whatever point you want to retire at, or a miscellaneous price prediction, just a random one, arbitrarily picked. You can choose an amount of XRP that you either have or want to have, or we can calculate it. You just need 2 of these 3 and you'll be fine. Then we match them all up and you get the third one, or if you have all 3 of them, you'll just have a nice overview of what you have, what you need, and whatever. So if you have your retirement goals set in place, and a little easy, quick rule to go by is whatever money you have, right? So how much money do you want to get to retire? Well, however money you have, you should go and get 4% of that a year. So let me quickly explain it in an easier fashion. How much money do you want to have to retire early? Or how much money do you need to have? The strategy here is that you'll have 4% of this money every year. So $1 million would give you $40,000 a year. How this works is explained in this article, and I've explained it multiple times in my videos. You actually try to get a return on your money of at least 5% a year, meaning that 1% grows your money. So you get like 10,000 next year, 11,000, just keeps growing every year. And or I guess 10,000, 100, depends on how much money you have and how much money you put extra to it. But yeah, 1% make sure your money grows all the time, and then 4% to withdraw. And of course, this needs to be excluded from taxes and also excluded from inflation. But let's say you get 7% a year, you'll be golden. Then you of course need to look at what your expense, like to calculate how much money you need. You need to look at how many expenses you have a month. So for example, 40,000 a year, how much? Like $3,500 a month. I don't even know exactly how much it is, but I'm assuming it's something along those lines. And if you can live with that, you're completely golden. Now, you of course got to go to your XRP price prediction. Right then and there, when I made this first hand, it was about 35. Then we later adjusted it to 37. Now it's 35, but it is 27, I believe. 27.4. Yeah. Oh, 27.4. And then you got to look at what you think the price is going to go to. All right, so you can choose a date. Doesn't really matter. You can just keep it in the back of your head, but just choose a price you think it's going to go to. Let's say you do $10. Just keep it in the back of your head. Then choose your amount of XRP that you have or want to have by the time it hits this price. So, for example, you want to have 10,000. You can just match them up here. 10,000 XRP, $10. You got yourself $100,000. That's a good amount, very nice, but it's not enough to retire. That's why I put all these ones in yellow to showcase at which point you can really easily retire. In theory, you can retire at 500,000 too, because it's or $20,000 a year, excluded for, or like inclusive taxes, or however you say that. Like the tax are already deducted, so it's netto or net to $20,000 a year. You can live with that, but it's very poorly, and it's not really what you want to go for. If you really retire all the way, I would kind of strive for a little bit higher, or kind of go for that. And that's why I marked all these ones in yellow, which are at least $1 million. In this case, some of them are a little bit better, but you get the idea. Pick a Q and a P, so a quantity and a price, and bam, you're retired. Now, a couple of new points that I've been adding and that I'm still going to get to add to is, should you actually sell your XRP? It's a very common question, and I will be going over this again maybe tomorrow or something. Like, should you be selling it, or how much should you be selling, or what kind of strategy should you be using for that? Because this depends on how you would like to preserve your wealth and the amount of risk you're willing to take. You can go for keeping all your money in XRP, so retire with XRP specifically and never cash out, just use it whenever necessary. You could decide to go with a layering strategy, which I'll explain in the video surrounding this very soon. You could go for just small parts. You just cash out chunks every so often, maybe like every month or so. Just depends exactly on what you want. The more risk you're willing to take, the more you should leave in XRP. The less risk, you should put it into fiat or some other really quite safe investment instrument. And then how do you cash out if you do plan to do so? What exchanges accept how much do they charge? Everything is also set in here. And then more, here's just a little bit of an idea that Delta K gave us a little while ago. He said, hey, just to be said, just so your XP retirement video, good stuff. Just an idea for the future video, you should also add the fees and the best place to convert XP to dollars along with a plan to do so. And again, a plan, we got to write everything out into a plan soon as well. Here's just a little bit. It says, to sell your XP, you'll need to know how to send the coins from their storage wallet to an exchange. Just go to the wallet or account and send the amount of XP you want to sell to the appropriate address. Remember that the XP can take a while to show up in your exchange account, well, a couple of seconds most of the time. And the following exchanges allow you to deposit XRP and withdraw US dollars. Each name in the list links to the exchange sign-up page. They're right there. And yeah, these are ones that you could use, that a lot of people use. But of course, there's a very big likelihood that you have a different amount of XRP in mind that you want to have, or a different amount of dollars that you have in mind, or you have a retirement goal of, let's say, 3.66 million. But you're like, how do I match this up? How much do I need? Well, that is again why we made this little spreadsheet right here, so you can actually input whatever values you would like. So for example, you have, let's say, 16,151 XRP. That's a lot of money. But yes, and you predict the price is going to go to about $14 or $14.56 at one point in the future. We need to do comma because I don't know, it's the Europe situation. Well, you're going to have a total of $235,000 or euros, whatever you your sign is in the place you live in. And again, that's how it's pretty much calculated. It's very simple. Again, you can see the calculation here. It's not hard. It's nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but it's just a lot of people that forget that these things are possible, or they don't want to, or they don't want to put the effort in, or never think about it. And that's why I keep showcasing this type of stuff. Or you can do it the other way around. You have a goal to retire. You want 3.66 6 million, right? And you think the price of XRP is going to go to $21. You're going to need 171,000 XRP to retire. Pretty obvious, pretty interesting. Let's say you just want $1 million. I'm saying just $1 million. I don't know. It's funny. It's going to be 47,619 XRP that you're going to need. In this case here, I probably also did some other calculations like how much money you're going to need. In this case, we just divided it by 3 because it used to be 33 cents. You're going to need a little bit more than this most likely, but you can roughly say it's about 16,000. Let's say $16,000. It could be a little bit less depending on what exact point you're going to be exchanging this at. It could be also 15 and a half. It could be 15. Let's say between 15 and 16,000 this is. Right, so 15 and 16K to get yourself $1 million if it goes to $21. And here I did something else. I don't even know exactly what it was anymore. Oh yeah, exactly. This is how much you're going to get every single year in terms of money. This is how much you're going to have every single month, about $3,500 in this case. It's all pretty obvious, it's all pretty self-explanatory, but it's something you just got to take a look at every once in a while to, again, never forget what your goals are and what you're in it for. I sometimes forget as well, like what we're holding for, when exactly we're going to stop, when exactly we reached our goal, because it's kind of a no-stopping train. Right, the train just keeps going on and you never really know when to hop off or when to hop in with more. And this way, if you actually put everything down for yourself in just an easy fashion, or you just highlight all of these stuffs with like a color for yourself, whichever one you want to achieve, and you maybe put down here how much XRP you've been stacking up. So let's say you just put a day here, like whatever the date is, 22/9. You've stacked up 100 XRP. 23/9 tomorrow you're going to be stacking up 33 XRP. You just do a calculation of all of them, like whatever is sum of, let's say, these two things. You can just do whatever you want, in the total amount. You can do whatever you want just to make everything easy for yourself. I would recommend to always keep using things like spreadsheets and just noting as much as you can to keep your goals straight, to keep your motivation up, and to keep up with the pace of holding, investing, calculating all the time. Just making sure you don't give up, right? That's basically the premise of all of this, why I'm showing you this. It's to not give up and to keep up your focus. Because it's very easy to get lost all the way and just think about dollar signs, think about price predictions. But, all right, let's say it goes to $100, right? How much money are you going to have? Well, $100 is pretty easy to calculate. Let's say $107. How much money are you going to have? Do you need it all? Like, how much XRP should you have to be able to retire? Maybe you don't even have enough to retire if it hits $107. You've been talking about Lambos and stuff, but you only have, you only have 40,000 when it does hit $100 per XRP. Like, you might be disappointed all the way. Those things, for all those reasons, I always recommend to just note everything you can about the investments you're doing down. It's for your own sanity, and it always helps. Trust me, guys. I've seen many people who do exactly what I've been telling you guys. It always helps. Talk a little bit about the Facebook group. I've made this just for you guys to be able to share a lot of interesting insights into the group with each other, but I'm going to be posting a lot of cool insights in here as well. I'm just kind of trying to figure out and kind of investing into myself of what I should be posting in here. I'm like, should have done a paid group where I do courses, where I just make trading courses, or where I make information about how to understand blockchain better, or what should I do? Should I make a whole XRP explanation in here, or how you can become a developer, how you can learn to code? What should I put? I don't really know. I just made it for the sake of having a place where everybody can connect with each other. You have a place where you can just either look at all the members or just read what I'm going to be saying in here, because I'm going to, of course, be sharing a lot of free stuff in here. That's really the goal of this group. That's what I made it for. But I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I should be posting. If you have any suggestions, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. Also, guys, do not forget to follow me on Twitter. A link for that is in the description below. And also, don't forget to check out this hardware wallet website. I put a link for that in the description below as well, because I personally use it. I can always recommend it. I know it works. I know it works splendidly. Also, guys, don't forget the giveaway. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, the CBC. And there's more links right there, like free Bitcoin or a place you can earn some interest on your XRP, things like that. Should I link these two in the description as well? I don't know if they're useful for you, as you've already seen them now. You can just do the calculations yourself. It's pretty damn simple. You can just copy them from the screen right now, or whatever you want, guys. Thank you all for checking out the video. I really do appreciate it all. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody, and have a very nice day.